Well, I survived being single in Los Angeles for 1 year. Cheers. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's crazy. I made a video called I Destroyed My Relationships about 6-ish months ago now. And the feedback on it was really good, and I was really scared to release it. And then I made another one called Dating Apps Are Pushing Me to the Edge, and that also did okay. And it was interesting, to kind of hear y'all's thoughts and feedback, etc. on dating and love and destroying relationships, and y'all connected with it. And I made a goal that I wanted to be single for at least 1 year. And in the I Destroy My Relationships video, I talk about how I'm pretty much a serial monogamist, and I'd been in 4 relationships that were over 2.5, 3 years in a row, pretty much. I did have one that was like 9 months, and I broke up with all of them, and I felt like there was some sort of deeper thing happening. I've been diving into it. Gotta put the leg down now. Feet okay? Yeah. My toes right there. Hope that's not too annoying. So this is kind of like a podcast, but I'm just kind of talking about it, and I wanted to talk about what my experience has been like being single in Los Angeles for the first time ever, being in a big city, being single. I come from a small town, super small town, and there's just not a lot of options. But here, there's a million options, a million different shapes and sizes and types and ups and downs and lefts and rights. I mean, it's crazy. There's so many. And I kind of I did a couple different things. One thing that I did was over different periods, because it's exhausting. Dating apps are exhausting. Trying to date in general is exhausting. Talking to people is exhausting. So I would go in phases of talking to people. But I figured out, I learned a lot about what I like, what I don't like, what I kind of like. I had lots of experiences which were very interesting. I also learned a lot about myself and about loneliness and friendship and community. And it's truly been like a beautiful, beautiful time. Also very sad and lonely and all the things. There was plenty of night where me and my wine glass would just have lots of conversations, or me and Kenai, my dog, we chatted quite often. I made a lot of music, I made a lot of art, I did a lot of thinking. So there's a lot of beautiful things to it. I wanted to talk about... I didn't take really good notes. Pretty much I'm getting a cramp in my foot. Pretty much the other day, I rewatched, it was like a 45-minute video on I Destroyed My Relationships to kind of see, see if I changed much, see if I figured anything out. And there was a couple things that I was worried about in that video. So at the end of the video, I said I kind of wanted to become the man I wanted to be before I get into a relationship. And, I don't know if I'll ever be where exactly I want to be, so it's kind of difficult. But I do think I made a lot of strides in that direction. When that video came out, or let's just first say, there was a couple things that I wanted to be better at. I wanted to be in better shape. I wanted to have not as much stress financially. And if you haven't checked out that video, just check it out here. It's pretty vulnerable and pretty real. I wanted to know my fashion better. I wanted to have more friends. Oh, yeah. And I wanted to dive into why I destroy my relationships. Good news is, a lot of that stuff I think I did pretty good at. Getting in shape, I probably stayed about the same. I've had some ups and downs. I got to a point where I was at like, my journey really quickly is I gained a bunch of weight, like not a bunch, but like I was 225 for my size. It was pretty big. And I got all the way down in like March. I was like 190. And then now I'm kind of stagnant at about 195. So I'm still kind of working on it, but I've been pretty consistent and doing pretty good. So I'm not super mad about it. Fashionably, I've gotten way more fashionable just in the past year, particularly the past 6 months. I've been going to thrift stores. I've been trying different things. You can't really see my whole fit well, but I'm just dressing better, and I'm really excited about what that could mean. I'm really excited about what that could mean for me. Financially, everything is just on the up and up. It's not perfect. There are ups and downs, but in December, I literally was negative in my bank account. And I just dropped my most recent income report, which you can check out here. And I was like, it's just crazy. I had my biggest quarter ever where I averaged over $10,000 a month. And I'm still paying off stuff, and nothing's perfect, but my credit score has jumped up crazy. So things are just really, really good in that, going a great direction still. It's not exactly where I want to be, but I'm in 1 year. It's just crazy the difference. I've gotten so much closer to like friends, family. I've been calling people so consistently. I've made new friends. I've gone on trips with friends. We just went to Joshua Tree with some friends. I'm constantly hanging out, or I've had game nights. And I mean, the fact, I've talked about this in other videos, but like just having my 31st birthday party and having all these newish friends in a city where I didn't know anyone come to celebrate me was like such a beautiful feeling. So like it happened. Like I've continued to grow that stuff, which is really cool. And all these things I'm checking in on are things because I wanted to become, I think I said that, I'm sorry, the man I feel like I'm supposed to be and I want to be. I've known Fashion Better Friends, and I have done a lot of thinking. Did I say that in the last video? I might have. It might be why I'm thinking of it. I did a lot of thinking about past relationships, about what I want. I wrote things out that I want and then that I don't want. I thought about if I even want to be in a relationship. I thought about what if I wanted to be a polygamist, or what if I wanted to be in a throuple, or just literally everything. I went down every path, and if you don't know, I am an extreme thinker. Been called an overthinker, but I don't think I'm an overthinker. I just love to think things through and figure out why I feel the way I feel. And I think I got a lot of steps closer to what I want. Some of the things I talked about was like I haven't dated enough women, or I haven't had enough sex, and those are things that I did. Oops. I dated a lot more people. I probably slept with almost the same amount of people-ish, at least kissed the same amount of people that I had ever in my whole life in the past year, which isn't a lot, but it's still kind of crazy that I doubled it. Not that that's like an impressive thing or anything, but it shows that I was just trying, and was trying to go on dates and trying to talk to different types of people. And yeah, I guess it's not really important to go into the details of it all, but the point is, I learned in this year, and I think it's been very, very important. And what I will say, what can I say about that? I've been having fun. A different kind of fun than I've ever had in my whole life, because I've been such a workaholic and such a relationship person. So I just have been having a different type of fun. And one thing that I think I've realized, because I've also, to be frank, and I'm sure people I've talked to or whatever will watch this, maybe not, but maybe they will, and I feel like I've hurt people. And it's not an intentional hurt, but it's just like didn't work out, or I didn't feel the connection that I would want to feel to get into a relationship, or I thought I was feeling something, but then it goes a different way, or I realize maybe I'm not able to open up because I don't see a future. There's so many different reasons, and the details, I guess, don't really matter. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't like that feeling. It's very difficult dating. It's very difficult dating and knowing exactly where someone's at, knowing, what am I trying to say? Like, people can say that you can just be friends. People can say that they're okay with just dating or going on dates. But in my experience, this has happened enough times to where it just hurt my heart. People just like are falling for me. And it's not that I don't fall for them or I don't like them or think that they're great, but there's something that's holding me back from like pulling the relationship trigger. And a lot of that has been honestly wanting to wait at least a year. But I'm so thankful that I haven't pulled the trigger yet before that year was up, because I think it was just really important for me to wait that time. And what I'm trying to say is, being single and being kind of this, I was not a playboy, but I was just like, I'm not ready for a relationship. So I would be up front like, hey, I'm not ready for a relationship. Then you talk to people and it's obvious they have like extra feelings for you and really would want to be in a relationship. And so a lot of times I got messages like, I really like you. And the mature girls would be like, I like you. I can tell that you're not in a relationship. I kind of see this turning into a relationship. So like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And that is honestly the best way it could go, because if I'm not ready or I'm not feeling it, whatever it is, that's great. But there's also girls that it just lasts a long time, and that's difficult because I can feel, I'm an empath. How's my hair? I can feel when someone likes me, and maybe everyone can, but I just feel their energy so strong, and I feel guilty. I just feel like I don't like them the same, and I'm hanging out with them. Why am I doing that? Or if I kiss them, or even have sex with them, even though we both know what it is, it's still, I feel guilty, and I feel like I don't like what this represents. So this person is gonna look at me this way, even if they wanted to have sex with me and they know what it is. I just don't like what I am. I don't like what that means or something. If two people are totally on the same page, that's fine. If two people are totally on the same page, that's fine and great, and there's not really any issues. But it's the problem when one person likes you more than you like them. That's where it becomes an issue. And then I also struggled I'm trying to also talk about like being in Los Angeles. Like, there are just so many people all like everywhere, whether you're on apps or not, they're everywhere. You're meeting new people and everyone's beautiful and everyone's cool. And so it's easy to fall into, just like really like a delusional liking them and wanting to learn about them. I thought this was kind of funny. But it also made me sad, and I also felt guilty. But I had this girl tell me, I was like asking her all these questions because that's how I get to know someone. I asked them questions, and I'm like learning about their past, and I was asking her about relationships she's had. And at one point she was just kind of like, why are you asking me all this? You said you don't want to be in a relationship. Like, why are you doing all this? And I was like, I'm just having a conversation, just learning about you. And she was like, you don't ask these questions if you're just learning. Like, you don't ask these questions if we're just like having fun. And I was like, huh, maybe that's what people do. But then it's like, really, like, I just don't enjoy just fucking random people. And I but people don't want to be vulnerable and open up if there's not going to be anything there. So I guess what I'm saying is I realize that I'm just not that type of guy. I don't want to be. And of course, dating is some of that. But I had to get really honest with girls, and that was not easy at all, because I knew and know that it was hurting their feelings. But I had to be like, yo, I think you're awesome, but maybe this other girl is making me feel this way, or I really like you, but I cannot be in a relationship. And it's just hard. It's just hard. And it's not something that I feel and have felt good about. And that's a realization that helps me also kind of think about how I've always been the serial monogamist. I could easily go into like a fuck boy, completely avoidant of feelings and stuff stage, but it does not fulfill me. And I've had more than one girl call me avoidant, because when things get a little more serious, I start to step back. But I think it's mostly because I don't feel the same feeling they feel, and so it comes across as avoidant. But it's really me kind of trying to realize I need to take a step back, because this is like, I don't want to hurt them anymore. It's all very precarious. I feel like I've felt like such a douchebag so many times. I felt like I don't have the right words to say. I don't know how to say it properly. But I can say that I have learned how to get better throughout the process. And the best thing that has worked for me, period, in these types of situationships, or you don't know what way, or you don't know how to communicate, just to try. That helped me a lot. It's like, hey, I don't have the right words, but this is kind of how I'm feeling. And then if they want to know more, some girls don't. They just like, bye. I had this one girl totally ghost me. Pretty much I had left her house, had spent the night with her, and we had been talking for months. And she was planning on ghosting me completely, because I think she felt that I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with her. She was older. That's also another thing. I dated older people and younger people. This girl was like 39, and I'm 31, so it's like a pretty big difference. And she was obviously looking for something like really serious, and I just didn't feel it all the way, and she could feel that. And so she was just going to ghost me like an asshole. And I was actually concerned about her, because it was so like black and white. Like, I left, everything was fine. And so I messaged her like 5 times. I left her a voice memo to see if she would listen to it. And she did. And then she finally responded like, hey, I don't think it's going to work out. And so some girls go that route, which is also interesting. It's like their version of, aka they don't want to know anymore. They just feel like it's not going to work. So they're just like, okay, bye. Which is a way to do it. But I've also had some girls be like, I want to know what you're feeling, because I'm confused. And then I have to try my best to communicate properly, which is not easy. It's not, because these are all weird feelings, and that we all don't know. It's like either you know or you are confused. Okay, no. Okay, there's 3 types of situationships or dating or whatever. So you have the girl that you're like, yes, this girl, not only is she physically beautiful, I'm attracted to her, personality, boom, 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 boom. Very rare. Very rare. Then you have the, this girl's very hot, but I'm not really loving her personality. Or she's like, hot, but I don't know how attracted I am to her, but I do like her personality. Or she annoys me here, or this or this. And then you have the girls you don't even go out with, so I don't even know why I would mention them. But there's a lot of like gray area where you're like, And the older you get, I think the more picky you become, especially in a city like Los Angeles. It's just because there are so many options. But the thing is, it just takes so long to do it all. And finding anything special is just, it's hard. And you have to keep trying. And, there's also times, I don't want to act like every girl loved me. Because there was also times where I made myself, I know I've talked to my boy Pat about it a lot. I would just sometimes get super silly with girls on dating apps, just see what would work, see who's like a silly goose, because I love a silly girl. It's fun to be silly. And a lot of girls didn't match my energy, and so I just embarrassed myself a lot of times. There's times where I would ask girls out, go out on a limb, who I was very attracted to, didn't work out. So I got rejected plenty as well. Not trying to act like I didn't get rejected. I did. I found myself very what am I trying to say? Older women, I definitely was more attracted to emotionally, for sure. Younger girls are hot, but there was one time I was at a party and I was talking to this girl who was like 22. Later on, I found out that she wanted to have sex with me and wanted to just sleep with me. I don't know if it was like a quick thing or not, but she definitely wanted to fuck. And I just talked to her and I felt like I was talking to a child. I was just like, I just felt so different. It doesn't mean like smarter, but I just felt like I had so much more experience. It was almost like I was taking advantage of her and I couldn't do it. I didn't. I felt like she was attracted to me, but I just couldn't do it. And that's another thing too, is I started to feel a lot more, be able to read people a lot more. And I think part of that was acting and part of that was just going to more parties or going out or talking to people. I felt like I was able to read when a woman was attracted to me, like a lot, or like, and it really helps with your confidence and your like, helps with your confidence, and it helps with like knowing when to make a move. Because I'm not a person, I have been rejected kissing a girl before, and I did not like that feeling at all. But this past year specifically, being single, it's like I always knew the right moment. Like I saw it 100%. And maybe that's easy, but I don't think it's always easy for people. So that was pretty cool to start to be able to read when are the right moments to do things. But then there's also girls that I like would be friends with or hang out with, and I know that I could cross that line. Maybe they would be totally fine with just having sex. I don't know. I never even talked about it with them. But I like didn't want to because I knew. Was there like a Chance the Rapper song that's like, I fuck all my friends, and then you kind of ruin it. Something about fucking all your friends and then you ruin the friendship. That's what it insinuated. And so you have to know like when to have boundaries too. Like when, like, is it worth it to potentially ruin this friendship by coming on to this girl in this moment where both of y'all are maybe vulnerable? I don't know. So, what else about dating in Los Angeles? I mean, yeah, the apps are crazy, but it's all about how much effort you put into it, really. I think that's the bottom line. And I talked about that in that other video. I'd be interested about what y'all want to know about this kind of stuff or any specific experiences. All the apps are like totally different about which one works and when they work. So I don't really have a lot of advice on that. Not that this is an advice video. I think the biggest thing that I've been learning about all of this dating and trying to it's like wanting to be alone but also still opening, because around the 6-month mark I was like open. That's why I made the video when I made it, because I wanted to be single for a while already. And so when I dropped that video, I was like open to, seeing where things go with people, and I wasn't going to close it off. I guess I'm okay with being like a serial monogamist. It's what I am. And it's a big realization for me. It's what I enjoy. I enjoy being in relationships with women and building something together and trying to create a family unit. I don't think the women I've been with have been the right one, and I've never pulled the trigger on marriage or anything because of that. So I've just been looking for the right one, and I don't want to be single forever. I don't want to be single for years and years and years. I just want it to be the right thing, and I feel like when I see it, I'll know. Maybe I have seen it. Catch y'all next time. Peace. Oh, I did want to say this last thing. On top of that, I realized that dating and being single in a big city like Los Angeles can be a black hole. And it can be negative, not positive. You could easily get sucked into just swiping all the time, constantly. I already talked about this a little bit, but constantly sexualizing people, constantly going on dates, constantly being in failed thing after failed thing. Then you go into this state of depression, and then you get out of it, and it's a cycle. Then you meet someone, and it's great, and then your routine is all thrown off because it's great, and you're having fun, then it fails, and you get drunk. And you're sad for a couple of weeks, and you get back on the apps, and it's just like this constantly terrible cycle. So I get that feeling 100%. But I do think you shouldn't give up on trying to find the right person. You shouldn't settle. I do not think you should settle. I think you'll know, and if you don't know, just cut them off faster. Be honest. Be upfront. If you need a roster, you need someone when you're lonely, do it. Just be honest and be open with your communication. But I don't think you should give up, and I do think instead of getting into the negative cycles, you could get into the positive ones, which I started to get into, which is hanging out with your friends, going to more positive events where you can meet people, and just doing things that you like to do, and you'll meet people with those similar interests. That's just my advice, but yeah. Hi there. Thanks for watching. If you really liked it, maybe you'll like some of these too. While you decide, here's some music. Enjoy.